welcome back to another edition of How About Now. If you didn't watch our first episode on the game Wild Serengeti, this is basically a series where I'm going to bring in games that I kickstarted or pre-ordered a long time ago. And for me, I can do that sometimes impulsively. And then in the days, weeks, months between hitting, confirm on the order or on the pledge and then the box arriving, my excitement level can change. And so that's where How About Now comes from. How do I feel about it now? It has arrived, it's here, and I am a big seller of games in order to continue being a buyer of games. And so that's what I'm asking. Am I going to keep this or am I going to sell it? Before I get into what we're diving into today, real quick on Wild Serengeti, I did keep it to play, like I said I was going to. That was my official decision. However, I played it once and I sold it the next day. So for me, it just definitely kind of fell into that part of the Kickstarter Venn diagram, which is very beautifully well produced, and the game missed for me. We'll just keep it at that. So yeah, you won't notice Wild Serengeti anywhere because even though I said keep, I reserve the right to sell it after I play it, okay? Now today, like I talked about at the end of the last video, we are talking about Marvel United, the X-Men pledge. I did not get every single thing for it, but it is here, this big, giant beige beast, and I am going to talk about whether or not I am going to keep some things. These are kind of some hot boxes that people are interested in. And so I have a decision to make once again. All right, so here it all is. This is everything I have. If you're familiar with the pledge, you'll see some boxes that I didn't go in on. But just to take you back a little over a year ago, about a year and 3 months ago, when this Kickstarter went live, I had just received all of my fun stuff for the first Marvel United pledge. I was really getting into the game. I'm just gonna say it right here. I love this game. Some people, are pretty split on it. The chibi art style, not my favorite either, but it's grown on me. I certainly don't mind it. The miniatures are really cool and detailed, but the gameplay, don't sleep on the puzzle that can be Marvel United, especially when every villain changes the game and all those sorts of things. I also think it's a great lightweight cooperative game to get people into the hobby, and the theme doesn't hurt for that either. A lot of people interested in Marvel, and it's great. In that time though, that's the idea of this whole video series is, man, they're always making new games, right? Isn't it weird how they do that? And so I will look at stuff like this and think, man, when my United pledge comes in, maybe I could sell a box here, sell a box there, get pretty good return on it since there are these Kickstarter exclusive things. Maybe that'll help me afford this game that I really want. And so I'm not gonna bury the lead. I have made a decision, but it's a little bit complicated. I am going to keep some of these boxes, and I am going to sell some of these boxes. So for me personally, Fantastic Four, that's an easy yes. This is a property that's close to my heart. I hope they make a good movie at some point. This is one of the only comics I actually grew up reading, so any publisher with the Marvel property, I'm looking at you, Marvel Zombies, you put out a Fantastic Four box, I'm buying it. That's easy. Days of Future Past, Sentinels, whoops, upside down. Sentinels, saw that, really cool. Would like to almost bust these open and look at them, but I'm not going to. You wanna know why? Because I've already got this set up for someone to come purchase. Those are getting sold. Gold Team and Blue Team, AKA the X-Men you care about. They put them into two separate boxes, the Shysters, and I've been Shystered. They got me on that one. These two boxes, I'll put them together. You've got Deadpool, and you've got X-Force, which was kind of a free stretch goal. Well, free, nothing's free with CMON, but a stretch goal they threw in, you didn't have to pay extra for. This one is getting sold, and so is Deadpool. I think Deadpool is... What do I think Deadpool is? I think Deadpool is eternally grateful to Ryan Reynolds for making it such a big thing. It had a cult following in the comics world, but the fourth wall breaking stuff, I've never seen it be particularly that interesting in board game format. Sorry, Unmatched. And looking at this, I think it's a lot of novelty, it's a lot of silliness, and hey, if that's your thing, that's great. But it's also really good for helping a father and daughter learn how to paint miniatures and get better at it. And that's what I have lined up as a seller here. And I'm so grateful that I do. That brings me to the stretch goal box, right? This big mamma jamma. I'm so grateful that I have someone already lined up who wants, as they've said, as much as I'll give them. Because since they're interested in the painting of the miniatures and they're not that concerned about the gameplay, they have allowed me to bust this open and take the characters out of it that I care about. And there are some in here. There are not that many. That was my big complaint about this. Well, for me personally, I didn't grow up on very obscure X-Men, and man, there are a lot of very obscure X-Men in here. I don't care about them. I'll never play with them, or I can't see why I would. However, there's some in here that I really care about, okay? And you probably know the ones, right? I'm talking about Nightcrawler. I'm talking about Namor. I'm talking about Dark Phoenix, right? These characters are part of why I would back an X-Men Kickstarter. Well, Namor is kind of interesting, but I'm not really talking about your Boom Boom and your Strong Guy and Feral and Phantom X. I mean, if these characters mean something to you, great. I'm really happy for you that they made a game with them. I'm going to use them to get other games. So, with that said, like I said before, I am going to set these others aside, but I am going to bust this open, bust these open, give you a look, and also show you which ones I'm keeping. All right. So first and foremost for me is going to be this box. Everything will get kept out of here. And what are we looking at? So there is some kind of card for the Fantastic Four that they really work best when they're all together. That's kind of unfortunate because I like to mix and match them. If I remember correctly, it seems like you're almost going to have to play them together in some way. I don't know, but here's the card for Doom's villain dashboard. You also have the Kickstarter exclusive Super Scroll. Yeah, I'll be playing both of those. Maybe do a playthrough soon. Oh, these are so cool. So you've got Super Scroll, kind of showing off how he can look like all of them. You've got Doom, purple, which I believe means you can play him as a hero or the villain. You have got Ben Grimm here. This translucent orange, which is new to this Kickstarter. Maybe a little harder to see some of that detail, but hey, he's a flaming man, so pretty cool. You've got Sue Storm, who is kind of starting to turn invisible. One of my favorites in all of Marvel. I just love a stretchy guy. I don't know what to tell you. And then Silver Surfer, which is very cool. Very cool stuff here. And of course, I won't open these all up right now, but you got there. Yeah, I'm super happy about keeping this. That's a good one. Now I'm gonna bust out, let's see, Gold Team here. team. See the characters that are going to be on there. The gold team and blue team introduces a team element. There's also some new locations, new abilities. I'm not sure, honestly, guys, if I'll ever play the team version. Maybe I will. Maybe it's amazing, but I also might not. What I can tell you is I wanted these characters. So Sebastian Shaw, that's kind of meh, but it's these guys. Look at this, super cool. Angel, you've got, if you, slightly deeper cut there. In fact, I am drawing a blank on his name. I know he's a Native American character. Oh my gosh, there he is right there. See, I don't deserve my, Forge, that's his name. I don't deserve my X-Men, ooh, Translucent Iceman, so cool. Don't deserve my X-Men bona fides because I don't have them. So therefore, I don't claim to have them. Then we have Bishop. And I'll save my favorite of these for last, which is Colossus. I believe these have to do with the team element of this game. Quick show you the other team. This one I think really speaks to the 90s animated more locations, which is always cool for this game. Those add a lot to the game. Mr. Sinister, love that. And then you have, here's Mr. Sinister in all his glory. If I were ever going to try to start painting minis, these would be the minis to paint. All right, I believe what we have here is Psylocke. And we have Jubilee. Banshee? I think that's Banshee. I'm drawing a blank there. But these two are unmistakable. You got Rogue. And you've got Gambit. And Gambit is chucking his cards there. He's got his staff. That's all just super cool. Super cool. Last thing I'm going to do here, guys, whoops, that's from the wrong one. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bust into this Kickstarter deluxe box, or sorry, the last thing I'm going to do here, guys, is I am going to bust into this Kickstarter stretch goal box, and I'm going to make some final decisions about which I'm going to keep. So like I said, this would have been a much harder sell if I was saying, hey, I want to sell the Marvel United Stretch Goals box, which definitely would have some value. Could have, who knows, $100 worth of value. But if I then was coming back to say, yeah, I want to sell you that box, but I want to take out all the best known characters, right? That's probably not working out too well for me. And the guy I'm selling it to is so interested in the painting aspect primarily that I don't have to worry too much about that because he just wants as many miniatures as I can give him. And that's that. All right, I'll just show you real quick. In here, you got some different pieces for characters and you've got all their cards. I'll go through all this to pull them out for myself off camera. If you are still sticking around watching this video, then you're here for the miniatures. And don't get me wrong, this Brood Queen, I mean, there are some highly detailed, incredible miniatures. But I'm just gonna say, I am excited to give those highly detailed miniatures to someone who wants to paint them, because that's what should be done with them, honestly. I am going to keep Dark Phoenix. That is a given. I am going to keep the Blob. Toad. And Pyro. So the Brotherhood of the Mutants, that's just good stuff. You know, there's some others that I could consider. I know Silver Samurai is a big Wolverine nemesis. Omega Red as well, and that's a cool miniature with those coming out there. But that might be all from this tray. Now, Onslaught, another big 90s guy, but I can't pretend that that has a lot of meaning to me. Plus, that's gonna be super cool for them to paint. That's all I'm gonna take from this tray. Done. Final decision. Overlay here. Namor, you're mine. Love Namor, excited to see him in the MCU. Who else are we looking at here? Spiral is pretty cool. That's a maybe. I'm gonna go back to her in a second. We have Marrow, no thanks. Emma Frost, yes, absolutely. Emma Frost is coming with me. Legion, Magic, I might have to, just to have her with Colossus. Sunspot, Warlock, Mirage, Wolfsbane, Blink, Boom Boom. See, a lot of these were the stretch goals I just didn't care about. Multiple Man is coming with me. Definitely, definitely. Havoc, no. Firestar, no. Warpath, no. Phantom X, no. Feral, no. So I will take Magic. This is, I forget her name, but she is sister to Colossus. So I will keep that one. But brings us to the last one. Kitty Pryde and Lockheed kind of go together. I don't care. Nightcrawler is coming with me. Bamf. Absolutely. Captain Britain, Phoenix, Dupe. Such a stupid little guy. I remember when this came out. Even people who were kind of like, no, give these X-Men a chance, were sort of like, ah, that one sucks though. Gwenpool's a maybe, but I don't have any other Deadpool stuff, so. Dagger, Cloak and Dagger, Longshot, Sunfire, Storm and Old Man Logan. I did not do the pledges that they came with. Weapon X, X-23, Dazzler, Pixie, Snowbird, Guardian, Puck, Sasquatch, and North Star. These Canadian ones are pretty cool. Truly, truly pretty cool. Captain Britain is pretty cool. Maybe to put with his sister, Psylocke, Gwenpool. But you know what? This guy is doing me such a solid by letting me pick from these that I don't want to get too greedy. This looks like a good number, and I don't think I am going to lack for content, so I am just sort of gonna put them back, and that's what I'm keeping. Well, actually, what you see is what I'm giving away, and I will come back to finish off the video, and I'll have my keepers out there. There we have it. That's what I'm keeping. That's what I'm selling. I didn't want this video series to just turn into an unboxing where everything I get, I keep. Most of this, I would say, or at least about half of this is heading out the door. And in fact, even some of my stretch goal box from the original Marvel United is also going to go. Fetching a good price. Feel really good about it. But yeah, I just want to say real quick, I don't blame anyone for, length of time of fulfillment. The fact that it took longer than they thought it would for these boxes to come in during the, the pandemic, aftermath of the pandemic, shipping fiascos and everything else. That's not CMON's fault, okay? It's not CMON's fault that I am an impulsive buyer and an impulsive seller, okay? But I do have to say that as time went on and on and on, I just kind of felt myself looking ahead to, ironically, other CMON Kickstarters and things like that, and saying, hey, if I'm going to be able to afford this, where am I going to get a little extra cash for the board game fund? It's going to be with selling some Sentinels. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. Thank you guys for watching again, and hopefully you enjoyed a first look at some of these miniatures. And I might also get a playthrough of this going here soon, and so you can see some of the stuff I'm keeping in action. But please watch some of our other videos. Check out our podcast, Caffeine and Cardboard. We're making stuff all the time, putting new stuff out. And the next How About Now video, I'll put it in the description and everything, but it's going to be not a Kickstarter, but just a big pre-order that I made back in March. And going to see how I feel about some of these games now. You've got the Marvel Champions Sinister 6 expansion, along with the hero packs for Nova and Ironheart. But I also threw some other games in there, Long Shot the Dice game, and Get On Board. So if you're not familiar with those titles, go ahead and look them up. If you are familiar with those titles, maybe you've played them already, maybe you've got a little, some thoughts for me. Hey, here's why I think you should keep that in the shrink, and don't show us, just keep the value so you can sell it. Or hey, this is a really awesome game, make sure you keep that. So leave the comments below, any of that kind of stuff. But thanks guys, we'll see you next time.